Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. This is a collaboration video with a whole bunch of other YouTubers that I've linked down in the description below. So this collaboration is a renovation of sorts. The description reads, a corporate gym has pushed movers and shakers out of Willow Creek, and the once loved gym is now abandoned and is in need of a repurpose. An investor has approached our amazing build team to renovate this lot into something useful. So we have the ability to change this lot into whatever we want, a restaurant, a cafe, anything but a gym. And that is exactly what I did. But I chose to do two things, a restaurant and a cafe. I had this idea from the start, like the moment I heard about this collaboration, and I really wanted to do this cafe restaurant style, and I wasn't too sure how I wanted to do this, but the moment I kind of looked through movers and shakers, I kind of realized that this gym was bred to be just cut in half. So that's exactly what I did, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. When I first went through movers and shakers to get a sense of what it is, because I haven't seen this since I guess when I first started Sims 4, I never actually went through and looked at movers and shakers. So I was surprised to see the state at which this thing was. It was ugly. You'll see pictures at the end, but this building was so ugly and definitely needed to be redone. So I'm really glad that I got to do this because it was satisfying and cathartic to be able to change this entire build up. I don't know what the hell the Sims team was up to when they first put this into the Sims 4, but it should not have gone out. At first I forgot to put in to get pictures of like the before. So when I went into a new save, I realized that they had forgot, I don't know if they forgot or if it's just a glitch in my game, that they forgot to put in walls in the bathroom. Now I'm sure it's a glitch in my game because they couldn't have just forgotten to put in some walls in areas and like had doors just freestanding. But it looked so weird and incomplete that I assumed at first that it was them that screwed up. Anyway, so it's gone now. I am so glad because this building looks a little bit better now. It has a lot more going for it. I decided that I wanted to do the restaurant and the cafe because I always love two buildings side by side from one another. Maybe it's just because I really like downtown and that's just the vibe you get. You always get the buildings just together and the storefronts are just all like nicely rowed and like the variation is so cool and historic. So I want to always recreate that in The Sims. And so this cafe and restaurant, they're very different from each other, but they work so well just because they're just lumped together in this historical building, let's say. So in the cafe, I really wanted to make it bright and colorful and cheery, like somewhere your sim would want to go and hang out, get coffee, hang out with friends, or just like work on their stuff. And it's both of the buildings are 2 levels because that's the whole entire idea of the build, is to keep the exterior walls intact. So it's 2 levels. I wanted to make the second level a very a boho theme, like keep with the theme that's happening, but I really wanted a area where your Sims, like if they're a comedian or a musician or anything like that, where they can go and showcase their talent and have like talent nights and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. So I added in this like cute little area that's just so colorful and cozy. I don't know, I just loved how it turned out. And they had these balconies that just screamed like just outdoor cozy. If that makes any sense. There's just so much like cozy in this build, well, at least in the cafe. I really like how bubbly and fun this entire cafe is, and it's definitely something that I would hang out in and work away furiously. I really wanted to keep the integrity of everything, and in the rules we could change the doors and the windows but keep the exterior the same. I believe it's just the exterior building, because I read over the rules many times, and from what I gather it's just the building. So the backyard did change a little bit, a lot of it, kind of it. But they had these balconies in the front that just needed to be used, and I definitely took it full advantage of it. I think it's really cute, and being able to sit and watch people like walk around like in the day or night and just hang out with friends. I don't know. There's something so fun and relaxing about that. I have a hell of a time trying to find pictures that are different. I don't have CC in my builds, and maybe I should start putting them in more, because I am going nuts trying to figure out how to put in more pictures in these builds, because I'm just constantly reusing the same thing over and over again, and I'm gonna be quite honest, I'm getting bored of that. And you can tell that I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do on one wall, that I just kind of like ended up leaving it bare, and to this day I hated it. I still hate it. I want to kind of go back and try and put in more stuff in it. The basement I had a lot of fun with. I don't know if this is breaking the rules of the collab, but I really wanted to put in a basement in both of the buildings, because I didn't have room for what I wanted in my plan. So I just decided to put in a basement, and it worked out so perfectly, because the cafe is so grungy, and those floor tiles are so perfect for it. I really like how this turned out, and you'll see in the next part where it's the complete opposite of what the cafe basement looks like. And I wanted it like that. I wanted the cafe to have a grungy bathroom in the basement, because when you're downtown and they stick those bathrooms in the basement, it's grungy. And so I wanted that feel, and I think I got it. I really like the floor tiles mixed with that 70s wallpaper that they have. It's quite great. Now, I don't usually go in with show hidden objects, just because it's kind of game breaking in a way. Some things end up deleting themselves or sticking around and kind of just being in the way. I decided to do this just because I wanted to add in some more realism to it. Finding out later when I was going through and doing the pictures, they deleted themselves. So a lot of that stuff that I put in, I didn't actually get into the pictures, but that's okay, because I got in people working there and people actually using the build. So I think it's a good trade-off, I guess. So I decided to use show hidden objects just because I wanted to make it more lived in and worked in. And I think that I came across also, I really like the pictures. I wanted specifically to use show hidden objects just because of the pictures. And I forgot that they had a picture in one of the packs, and I don't quite remember what it was. And I found it after. But I like the fact that there's little like pictures of milk so you can put in coffee and stuff like that. So here's where I get to change up the backyard. I really liked the fact that they had trees encased into the backyard, so I wanted to recreate it on both sides. And I definitely wanted these spaces to be cozy. I didn't want it to be just like a generic backyard or like one where only employees get to go. I definitely wanted it to feel more cozy and like, you know, somewhere you really want to go hang out after, like drinking at the bar next door or something like that. And next door does have its own backyard area, which is fine and dandy, but it's very upscale and not something that you like want to stay around for very long. You want to like wind down at the end of the night, and that's where you go to the cafe. So I definitely wanted to make this a very upscale looking restaurant. I wanted it to be small, so very intimate. I didn't want it to be this super big upscale restaurant that makes it feel very cold. I still wanted it to be kind of your local fancy restaurant that you have in your little town, and we kind of have that in a town that I'm very close to. We have a few actually in that area, but off the top of my head I can think of at least one where it's like super tiny and intimate, and a lot of people I know go to that place, and so that's what I kind of wanted to recreate here. And I think it came across. There's a lot of chairs, so I think that crowdedness with that intimacy kind of works out well. And I really wanted to add in a lot of seating in the backyard, because at a local pub that I go to, they also have that, and the backyard, as it were, is one of my favorite places to go and hang out. And so, sure, it's a very like upscale restaurant and not a place that you want to hang out in, but I still wanted to recreate that nice atmosphere that I visit quite often. And I don't know, the stark black and whites that I use constantly against the colorful background of the cafe also works out very well. I also didn't know what I wanted to do for the giant wall. I know I wanted a water feature and it didn't work out. I don't know if I can put in fountains indoors. I feel like you could have at one point in time, and now I just can't. And I really want to put a fountain indoors. That's just my main goal. I just really want to put in a fountain, and I can't. So if anyone has an idea, please comment below and let me know if I'm doing something wrong to put a fountain inside. It's been coming up a lot recently in my builds, so I don't know. Something needs to be done. For the second floor, I wanted a bar that seemed kind of separate from the restaurant downstairs. And I thought it was neat that you could just go upstairs to the restaurant or to the bar, which is also something that happens a lot downtown. And being able to just like go hang out at the bar and then say, oh, I want to go to the restaurant downstairs, and it's just being there. So it's basically like a 3-in-1 type situation in this lot, and it's quite a small lot comparatively. Now, I tried to do another water feature and it just didn't work out. So I really like how I got the leaves. What do you call them? They're like trellises or something like that. I really like how it filled in the space and kind of brought the outdoors in and kind of made it like this cool, edgy type situation going on. And so I wanted to fill up the back bar with more of the booze, I guess, but I couldn't find a lot of what I thought was already in the game, so maybe I'm just going crazy with it, but it was in the show Hidden Objects and I'm not as familiar with it. But anyway, I think it turned out really well. I also really like the basement and the bathroom in the basement. And ever since I visited my friend who lives kind of far away at his new place, I found that I have been inspired more with bathrooms than I ever have. And so adding in like an ottoman in the middle was something I never would have thought of in the beginning, and having like that giant like leaf figure. What do you call those things? It's really late here. It's like midnight and I'm starting to get sick actually. Anyway, so those kind of features I never would have thought to put in to a bathroom at all, because I hate bathrooms. I think it's so monotonous, but now I really enjoy them and I really like adding in those features. I think they make those areas more unique. And I was getting frustrated with the kitchen because of how small it was. I didn't realize how tiny that thing was actually going to be until I started putting in all the necessities. And I mean, it's okay because it's not like you only need that kitchen thing and you're fine. But I wanted to make it more realistic, and to have it so tiny, I would be frustrated if I had to work in that kind of situation. But this is The Sims. They work their stations and they're done. I also really like this little office that I've set up in there, and I set it up in the cafe as well. But I really like how this one is like trying to be super ritzy. And they don't shy away from the fact that they have like this giant check or these glowing reviews that they just have everywhere, and like their diploma and their first simoleon. I don't know, I like it. I like how this guy who owns this restaurant doesn't mind flaunting the fact that he has money. So here are the pictures, the before and the after. It looks completely different, like the club is supposed to be. There's a lot more going on. It doesn't look as drab or dreary. And if it wasn't for that big time gym, we wouldn't have the cafe and the restaurant. So like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.